Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, they released a little bit of news for Doctor Who at the San Diego Comic Con. They're doing a spin-off. It's called The War Between the Land and the Sea, and it features the Sea Devils, who were featured in one of the Jodie Whittaker special, I think. I think they are a species that was already in Doctor Who in the past, but not being, a 60-year-old Doctor Who fan, I don't really know, because I've only really seen, when I was a kid I saw repeats of the Tom Baker years and thought that was Doctor Who, and then, when they brought the show back, I think 2001 or something with Christopher Eccleston, I watched sort of that season, and then I've just sort of seen random specials and things here and then since then. So I'm a very casual fan trying to find a way to get into the show, but it's very difficult. Now, despite the rumours that Russell T Davies is actually fired, he was at San Diego Comic Con with the actors doing a panel and talking, and that's where they announced the show. It's a 5-part series, so it's like a mini-series, although considering the actual season of the new series, the reboot, season 1, was only, I think, 6 or 8 episodes. It doesn't feel so short when you compare it to how short an actual season is, but it's 5 episodes, and although I'm sure they're going to explore this alien race and expand on their, their little world and everything, I'm not really sure who's going to be interested. I don't think anyone really knows who these characters are, who this alien species is, and if there's any real interest. I mean, a Doctor Who series about Doctor Who, a spin-off. I mean, the show itself is struggling in the US. I mean, it's doing fine in the UK. The BBC, that show that it did just as well as other Doctor Who series, and was actually a bit of a highlight where it got to number 16 in the viewing charts or whatever, which is the highest they've ever gotten over the years. That's sort of the peak they've sort of gotten to on a few occasions, like when they did the new show with Christopher Eccleston. So it's fine in the BBC, and the talk is that they're going to not continue the show. Disney isn't interested in doing anything, doing a 3rd season. Ncuti Gatwa's going to go. But there is the rumour that Russell T Davies has been fired by Disney, and they can't actually fire him. But what they can do is say, look, Bad Wolf, BBC, if you want us to continue giving you that sweet Disney money to produce this big new Doctor Who series, you have to get rid of Russell T Davies because the fans don't like him, and they're probably listening to the toxic fans, and they're going to blame him and his woke agenda, and that is the sort of rumour that they basically said they'll do a 3rd season without him. I don't know if that is just a rumour, because he's sort of come out and he seems to be sort of talking and doing stuff to promote the show, but also to sort of dispel those rumours. But I don't know if this is going to appeal to people. Like I said, people are barely watching the show in the US anyway, because Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, these are all cultural phenomena. They're all part of our life. Everyone knows what Doctor Who or Star Trek or Star Wars is, and you're either a fan or you're not. You either know what it is or you think you know what it is, and you're either going to give it a chance or you're not. So this idea that you can just spend a bunch of money on production and promotion and make a big new shiny show, and suddenly just people are going to follow like lemmings and watch the show because it's content and they don't think, it doesn't really work like that. So Disney's found that spending a bunch of money on a new Disney version of Doctor Who didn't bring in a new crowd, didn't bring in new fans, because the fan base is already established. And you have to just work with that, like with Star Trek. You can't just throw money at it and think you're going to make it grow. It's like, if you spend it, they will come. That doesn't work that way, because we can think. We've already made our minds up about what we want and what we'll be loyal to and follow, and what we actually won't, give a chance. So I'm curious how this is going to go. I'm curious if they do others, because Star Wars sort of did the same thing where they just sort of picked favourite characters and just did a series on each of them, like Ahsoka and Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, and they did Andor, who wasn't a popular character, but that apparently was a well-written, good series, but it wasn't really popular because it's very much just looking at one side of the political stuff in Star Wars. Apparently it was good, well done, but so I don't know how they're going to do with doing this. I can't. If Doctor Who is struggling, I don't know why they think they can get a spin-off out of it. Now, I know why the BBC thinks they can do it in the UK, because Doctor Who's doing really well, and same as it always has. So, and they've done the Sarah, what her name is, Chronicles, and Captain Jack. They did some other shows, Torchwood, so they've done this before. So they're trying to expand the universe, but it's a bit disturbing, because basically people are looking at it now like a franchise, that corporate idea of let's just expand the IP, produce more content. You know, that's just what they're doing and how they look at the show now. And it's yeah, I don't know I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the whole beginning of expansion for the Hooniverse.